Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard for episode 4. Same guys here today as we've had the last 3 episodes, and we got some more NFL talk and NBA talk. We're starting out with Jonathan Taylor and this whole saga that's going on now with the Indianapolis Colts and the owner Jim Irsay. Then we'll transition into Dalvin Cook. Is he going to join the Jets, and how good is that team going to be this season? We got a Herbert versus Tua debate, and how good the Dolphins and Chargers will be this season. Transitioning into their third season, we have Lawrence and Fields and how well they're going to do. And then we got George Pickens and what his ceiling is in his sophomore season. Then we'll go into the NBA. We got Curry versus Tim Duncan debate. Is Curry the best point guard of all time? Who are the top 5 most overrated players in the NBA? And who's better, Russell Westbrook or AI in their career? Then we got the Ben Simmons talk, who has started up once again if he will play or not. And then the Thunder, are they going to be a top 8 team this year and actually make the playoffs, or will they be in the play-in once again? So we'll start it out. Jonathan Taylor saga been going on this whole week seemingly, and Jonathan Taylor requests a trade. Jim Irsay says they're not going to trade him. Then something comes out about him being injured going into training camp, and now they're threatening putting him on the PUP list, which means he would not receive any pay for the entire season. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think Jonathan Taylor's lying. I definitely think he's actually injured. If you see him walking around at camp, I think he's actually injured. And the only reason he's saying he's not is so he can get traded and get paid.
Yeah, I really think I think this like needs me like every other owner and like player situation where this is like kept behind like closed doors. Like this is like shown out in the public. The GM or like the owner, whoever's running the team, never like makes like public like thoughts like public statements about like players like that, saying like absolutely not, like I'm not training him, like not at all, like he's gonna be playing. And then like also like just like the miscommunication with like the injury stuff. And it just like it's a bad look on both sides, Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, honestly.
Yeah,
'Cause
Jim
both sides
Irsay's
are
definitely
bad.
yeah, Jim Irsay's definitely taken he's kind of acting a little childish.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, it's a weird situation. I kind of feel like Jonathan Taylor, I feel like he is a little banged up and he knows the Colts knows that, so they're not gonna pay him whatever he's wanting to be paid. And I also think but I don't think it's all about money. I think he's not happy with the roster either. I think he's like not only does he want to get paid, he wants to contend. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to contend and he knows they're not contending with everything they have. So he's
Well,
like, I want to get paid and I want to go win.
he didn't perform last year. He only had 4
He didn't.
touchdowns,
He
like
didn't. But
800 yards.
that O line underperformed badly. The whole team underperformed, but that O line that was supposed to be like a top 5 O line going into the
Yes,
season,
yes. They have been for like past like four or
and they
five
have been.
years.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
overachieving the past years, and then they just got hyped up. But that's how like sports goes.
Even
Uh,
with Jeff Saturday too, like he was a first time head coach, no coaching experience, but you'd think he'd get the O line right because like he was an O lineman himself, Hall of Fame caliber player. Like you'd think he'd be able to get in that room and get those guys right, but it just never clicked for the Colts. And the funniest thing is right now, they're linking him to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the betting favorite right now to receive Jonathan Taylor by trade. And they have an interesting situation. They didn't pay Tyreek Hill. They might not pay Clark. They didn't pay Frank Clark, and now they might not pay Chris Jones. So they might have cap space to pay him his 15 to 16 million a year. Another player that's looking for a big contract in free agency is Dalvin Cook, and he was at his only visit of the summer with the New York Jets. What do you guys take? How good are the Jets with Dalvin Cook, and are they Super Bowl contenders?
Well, his trainer tweeted.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, his trainer tweeted that like he legit was like, if like you guys like if you fans like knew what he said about like his visit or whatnot, like you guys would be like laughing. Like so it's like I don't think he's gonna go there. And his trainer like deleted it, but like, bro, like this dude's like training him every day. Like he's like helping him influence his decision as well. Like I think his trainer saying that means like I don't think he's going to the Jets for real.
Yeah, I think his trainer definitely just kind of let everyone know he's definitely not going there. But I mean, if you put him on the Jets, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. I mean, because me personally, I think Brees Hall is going to have a really good year. I think he's going to come back really strong. And so I don't think it's going to make it that huge of a difference. And I think what they should do with Rodgers' pay cut is honestly use this money somewhere else. And I mean, you've heard about the rumors with him and bringing in Devontae Adams at some point. I mean, I don't know. I think you could save that money and do something else, especially like when the season goes on and you can find out what your weaknesses are. And if you have that little money to just save and just save it there. And if something goes wrong or injury goes down, you need to get a guy that can replace him. Like you have that money. But if you get Cook, I mean, you got Brees Hall coming back. Michael Carter's, I mean, serviceable, but we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you got some D?
Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna switch topics. If you got something on the
I was just
Jets,
gonna say, I think kind of to piggyback off what McCabe was saying, I don't think it's that big of a difference whether he's signed or not. I mean, I think the biggest difference would be in like cap space and money after, because I think they contend with or without him. I think they're contendable team without him. But like with the whole Brees Hall thing, he's coming off a big injury, so I think he'll start slow. As far as volume of carries per game, I think they'll start him off slow if they're smart. I don't see them throwing him back in with 15 to 20 carries off an ACL injury.
yeah, 100%. And injuries have been a thing that have plagued the NFL this training camp period, where we saw Joe Burrow go down a few weeks, going to be out of training camp, missing out on a lot of reps. That would be nice. Jalen Ramsey out till at least December with his meniscus injury, and then Shane Zylstra did something to his knee that was pretty serious, and now that opens up the tight end room in Detroit. And now Sam Laporta has a massive opportunity to break out in his first season. And as Mike's mentioned in other pods, Kittle believes he's the next big thing. And he's in Detroit. Great opportunity to fill that TJ Hawkinson role from a year ago and the years past. So what do you guys think on him?
I think honestly, like the dude could blaze, like he could run. Like for a tight end, like he was getting like that Iowa offense was horrible, but he was one of those like very few bright spots in that team last year. And he's taking tight end screens to the house, like getting the ball and running, like doing stuff that like Kittle can do. Like if you give him the ball, like he's gonna turn into a 40-yard game easy. Like he can move and he's young. I mean, it was a great move by the Lions, in my opinion. Great draft pick, great replacement for TJ Hawkinson, and he's cheaper. And I think like with Jared Goff, who's a great QB, I think he's super good. Like, and he just goes through his progressions. And I think Laporta will just always be open and turn into 40 yards.
Yeah, definitely that move. I definitely think with their tight end going down and just kind of leaving all like the first team reps up to him. I mean, if you play fantasy football, I think it's a great kind of 8-9 round draft pick. I mean, you could easily he definitely could be a serviceable tight end for you over guys. He can honestly easily have a better year over guys like Robert Tonyan, kind of like that third tier below, kind of like the Pat Fryermuth. Who else you got? Who else are these? Like Hayden Hurst on the Panthers.
Irv Smith, like
He's solid. He's solid, and he's only going to get better.
Definitely solid.
Is Iowa tight end you?
Tight end you.
Easily.
Tight end you.
Sure.
But yeah, I definitely think Laporta, like I think he's like right around that range of like David Njoku, Hunter Henry. You got who's the Broncos tight end?
I don't even know that guy.
It's not Fant anymore. It's
Dulcich. I think it's Dulcich.
Yeah, it's like some shit like that.
Yeah. And then I mean, yeah, I know he definitely could be a sneaky fantasy pick for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking of fantasy football, two guys that everybody's looking at as a mid-round quarterbacks that are Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert, both coming off somewhat down years by their standards, what they said in their rookie and sophomore seasons. And it's an interesting dilemma where you want to get the quarterbacks like Justin Fields, Joe Burrow, or the top tier like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. But if you're waiting for later picks and you have them fall to your lap, what do you guys' take? Who do you guys think has a better season, and what team has a better record going into the playoffs?
I think Tua with that offense should be like the first QB off, but Justin Herbert is just a touchdown machine. He's breaking like all the records within like the first like 3-4 years. of being in the league. Like he shattered them. And I mean, I think he was on my fantasy team last year and he did super well. And Tua was also, and he kept getting hurt. And I think if he has one more concussion, I think we could see the end of his career low key. So it's all about him just staying available. But Justin Herbert's reliable.
You got D.
I think it's hard because Tua has like such an explosive offense and so many weapons, and so does Justin Herbert. But with Tua having like just the speed he has and having Tyreek Hill, like we've never seen no one run like him. So like having that threat makes you want to go with Tua. But I think like Mike said, Justin Herbert's a touchdown machine, whether he's running, passing, and then Austin Eckler. Just having that backfield threat makes it. I don't know. It makes it a little more toss up, but I think I would go Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Like I was watching Collins today, and he was saying like, and it like kind of makes sense, like Bucky Brooks was saying, and it kind of like makes sense how like young QBs, like when there's like a solid like run game, like a solid running back, like it helps out that QB so much more. Like Mahomes and stuff like that. Like Mahomes doesn't need a running back. Like he is like developed. He's like having 30 touchdowns a year. Like he doesn't have to rely on the run game like that. So like when you have like young players and stuff like that, like having a star running back, I feel like really helps him out. And that just like helps out Herbert because Austin Eckler is a threat in the backfield and he's threat on the ground.
Right.
Like Tua's never had like a star running back or like anyone that's rushing over 700 yards a year, like behind them, like helping them off. No, like Tua's throwing the ball a lot. And I feel like if they sign Cook, like Tua could really take a big leap if they even sign Dalvin Cook.
Bro, there's
Dude.
no this upcoming year, bro. The Chargers are gonna miss the playoffs. All right, their coach is horrible. They have a horrible coach. Mike McDaniels is so much better. Tua has both of their receivers are better than any of the receivers on the Dolphins or on the Chargers. Hill and Waddle are better than Keenan and Mike Will. Both of them are better than Keenan even. I definitely think Tua, with his contract year coming up, I think he has the ball out. Yes, I mean, you can't really put injuries in it because Herbert can, like, if you just take out injuries, like, I really think, and like, even if you look at training camp, like, everyone's been saying he's looking amazing. He's throwing the ball perfectly, everything. Like, there's no way Tua doesn't. I don't think he balls out this year. Like, there's no way. I mean, with contract year, I think there's just so much. I mean, yeah, I think their division they're in is a little bit harder, but I mean, so is the Chargers. But honestly, I think Tua is going to be a sleeper, and honestly, he could be a sneaky dark horse for MVP.
Switching topics now, we got two quarterbacks going a little higher in the drafts, and people have a betting favorite for the MVP in Justin Fields, and then Trevor Lawrence expected to take a big leap further. Already made the playoffs, got them a win in the playoffs, and has his new weapon, Calvin Ridley, now. So it'll be interesting to see. What do you guys take? Who would you rather have in fantasy, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields this season?
I'm taking Justin Fields just because of how big of a threat his legs is. As far as fantasy, I mean, I'm not sure. I definitely think Trevor Lawrence has like a way better season. I think they make the playoffs again, but I don't know. Justin Fields he runs for like, what did he run for 1,000 yards last year?
Yes, bro, 1,000 yards.
It was more than some of the best. But it's more rushing yards than Austin Eckler. Points, and he runs like 50-yard touchdowns. Like one of those, you won your week. One of those, he popped one of them big ones.
Bro, I'm definitely taking Lawrence over Fields, dude. What are we talking about?
Not over fantasy, not as a fantasy.
I know we're talking about fantasy, but like, dude, you want to like Herbert or Lawrence is throwing for 4,000 yards easy and 25 touchdowns easy,
bro,
easy. And and their division is so much worse they're in. Like the Bears have a tough division, like Detroit, Green Bay, Vikings, like. That division's not easy. Like
not easy, but I definitely think like he's gonna be good. Like he just didn't have anything last year. Like I really think like Like, I mean, year 3, this is when they
Who did
take
he get? DJ Moore. That's it, bro.
DJ
But
Moore's
he
a
got
dog.
somebody. He got somebody to throw the ball
DJ,
to.
like,
It's
do you understand? Like, DJ Moore was wasting his career on the Panthers. Folks is really a top 10 wide receiver, just like wasting his talent on the
No
bench.
chance.
Their defense got better. They're gonna have the ball a little bit more.
Dude,
Like
they got better. Like they
got better. They're gonna
Their
bro,
O line is
they're not gonna-
bottom tier. Their O line is
Tennessee
top
is not
bottom
gonna
5.
sweep them. How
same
you
with
think
your
it's gonna
Pittsburgh Steelers. Same with your Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what they
No.
did? They drafted an O lineman just like y'all. So you finna
We improved it. We also picked up 2 new
Like-
O linemen.
what?
We also picked up the O lineman from the Eagles and we picked up 2 O linemen from the Eagles.
Yeah, but Fields has legs that Kenny Pickett
Yes,
doesn't,
legs.
which makes up for those lineman additions.
Okay, Fields doesn't have George Pickens though.
Okay, you not understanding. His O line making him run makes me more points. His O line making him have to run makes me a lot more fantasy points.
I know it makes you more points, but Herbert, you're going to get
Points.
2,000 passing yards only.
Bro,
No,
he could get
he's
3,000.
like
bro.
3,500.
In 17
will.
games, you're saying he's only going to throw for 2,000 yards.
He's gonna get close to 3,000,
so
3,500. He has people to throw the ball to now.
Like
He'll
Justin,
get to like 2,500. 2,500.
bro,
He'll
he's
have under 10 passing TDs though.
under 10.
Under 10, dude.
He'll probably have
Because if
like
they
I'm
get
over. I'm smashing it.
smashing over. I say he get about
Smashing
50.
it over. Dude, he's known for passing, bro. I
He
know.
passed at Ohio State. He
Bro,
was
bro,
not
he's not
drafted for
running the
running.
ball. He was not running the
not
ball.
drafted for
Ohio
running.
State. I was watching it. That boy was throwing
His
the
running
rock.
just came when he got to the Bears. He had to do that, and then
That's-
That's crazy disrespectful. You just said under 10 touchdowns in a 17-game
Dude.
season. That's wild.
He threw for like
Mhm.
30 in Ohio State, dog. He
can
got
throw
that
the
shit
ball.
on him. He got that.
Stop trying to do the whole Lamar thing. Like Lamar grew up his whole life known as a runner, so that's different. Justin Fields was drafted because of his quarterback talent.
But Lamar could throw that thing.
Yeah, no,
though.
Lamar can throw it, but I'm saying, but
He been able to throw that thing.
that's why they always put that picture, that image of Lamar, because he always been so good at running. That's the excuse they try to make of why he shouldn't be so great.
Yeah, and the thing is with Fields too, they just signed Komet to another extension, like a pretty big extension. He's been a solid tight end over the past few years.
Yeah.
Now you got Darnell Mooney on the outside with DJ Moore, and you can throw Claypool in there on third downs if you need a big play, if you're backed up behind the chains. Plus you got Cleo Herbert, young backfield, like Deonta Foreman had a great season last year. It's a solid offense. I think their main thing that would keep them out of the playoffs is the defense. Like that defense is just horrid, and they didn't address that much in the offseason. So it'll be an interesting season for the Bears. And similarly, it'll be an interesting season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And McCabe's favorite wide receiver is going into his sophomore season. And he made a comment to us yesterday in the chat. I want him to repeat that on here, and we'll hear his take.
All right. I know all y'all saw the clip. Everyone saw it. It was all over Instagram. I definitely think George Pickens, we're not taking any of his stats. We're just talking about his skill. I definitely think he could be in that top 10, almost top 5, like echelon of wide receivers in the league. Like, I think he's over the guys like CeeDee Lamb, taking him over Stephon Diggs. Like, I think the only guys, I think he's with Chase. I think he's with Chase, Cooper Kupp, and Justin Jefferson. And then you put George Pickens there. Anyone I didn't name, I think is below
over
him in skill
Tyreek Hill. Over Tyreek Hill.
Adams
Oh,
below?
yeah, Tyreek.
Okay.
Devontae Adams?
That's yeah.
I'm not taking
Taking Devontae Adams. He has 12 touchdowns every year.
I'll take Devontae Adams now still
Yes,
because
you
he had a
are.
good year last
Dude,
year. Okay, but he's like in those with those 6 guys, those
Dude,
5 guys.
Hey, predicted
Look,
stat
look.
line this year though. Predicted stat line. Where do you
He's not
see
gonna,
that?
he's not gonna be 1,000 yards. He's not have 1,000 yards, and he's comparing them to people.
Yes,
Bro,
he will.
yeah, man.
I guarantee you, he's getting 1,000 yards.
He not Garrett. He not Garrett.
He's getting. He's
He not Garrett.
So
So
how
you're
many?
taking Garrett Wilson?
Wait,
Not
wait.
Garrett.
Wait,
People
so-
like Garrett Wilson is who he should be compared. Is he better than Chris Olave? Like, what are you talking
He
about?
not better than Olave. That's my other dog. Olave, my other dog. He not even better than the other dog.
Yes, he is,
He
Mike.
not even better than the other dog. He
Throw
not
it up to that man. He's
Garrett,
catching
He's
it.
not better than my other dog.
Has he even been cleared as a wide receiver 1 yet?
He doesn't need to be.
Steelers?
We're
No, but you're saying Justin Fields isn't going to throw for 2,500 yards. I'm not seeing Pickett throwing for over 4,000. You have so many mouths to feed in that offense. You're dumping it down to Najee. You have 2 tight ends now that you like, in Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. You have Deontay Johnson, who's looking to make another big step in his career, and you have Pickens. Like, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that
Yeah,
offense.
and with all that you said right there, you know what I hear? And then you add a top 5 defense, I hear a Super Bowl. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I hear a Super Bowl.
Hey, bro.
So you're saying how many yards is Pickett going to throw for this season?
I think Pickett, you could, if you get his stat line, I think he easily gets 3,300 yards, 27 touchdowns.
What?
Pickens, stat line, he's going to have over 1,200 yards. Deontay is going to be over 1,000 yards. Freiermuth is going to be around 7 to 8. And then the rest of the guys are going to be under 100, under 200.
Bro.
So wait. So how you gonna feel when Fields throw more passing yards than Pickett?
There's no chance. I'd put so much money on that. I'd put so much money on that with anyone.
Dude, Matt Canada's the
talk
worst
about
play
it, man.
caller in the league.
Doesn't matter.
He's
He's
the
throwing
worst
for more
play
than
caller in the
Fields.
league. He's worse than Mike McCarthy.
So would you take Pickett over Fields in fantasy then?
Yeah. No, not because of the running. No, I
Oh, what are
wouldn't.
you talking about? So
No, I
what,
wouldn't.
bro?
I wanted to see if he'd go that far. I wanted to see if he'd
I
go
wouldn't
that
go
far.
that far because I know Fields is nice in fantasy when it comes running, but
Okay.
Fields threw for 2,200 yards last year.
Yes, and
Kenny
they
Pickett
also
threw for 24.
yes, well they also were just not a great offense in general last year, and he still ran
And
for
neither was
1,000
the
yards.
Steelers. The Steelers offense wasn't
They-
good at all last
It
year.
has the
You had
same.
stars.
They have like
You
the
have
same weapons
stars.
as they had last year, and now they're called elite weapons.
The Bears
been elite. They
have
were-
So
have
then you
Justin
just said they
Fields.
weren't that good last year, but now you're saying
Yeah,
they're elite
their
weapons.
offense didn't produce though because Kenny Pickett was a rookie.
You had Kenny Pickett. You have Najee, second year, already a Pro Bowler his first year.
But that's
Like-
the same, and that's the
like-
same thing you can say for Justin Fields. He was learning the offense still. It's new coordinator, new coaching staff. Now he's going into his second season with this coaching staff, with the new coordinator. Like he's gonna take a
But-
leap,
but
just
people
like
broke
Pickett's
to
is
it.
gonna do.
What's people to throw to? Like Darnell Mooney being your number 1 sounds so crazy. Him as my 3 sounds a lot better.
No, as your
Fields also played all
Mooney's a
17
two.
games.
Claypool is over him, bro.
Claypool's not over Mooney. Mooney's a dog for real.
3 more games. Fields played more and had 200 less passing yards.
Because he wasn't passing it, but he ain't nobody passed to. He was running
Yeah,
out.
nobody
So,
to-
Look at
so
rushing
when
yard.
Lamar wasn't the passing leader but won MVP because he could run, that wasn't a great season. Like
Don't listen
He
to
also
him.
then he threw for 3,500 yards.
Fields was
was he the
hiking out
passing
before the
leader
run.
though? I guarantee you, there's people who had more yards and probably
Yeah, I
less
know,
speed.
but he threw for 3,500 though. He didn't throw for just 22 in 17 games.
But was he doing that in his freshman and sophomore, his first and second years? Like,
I'm sure he was doing more than 2,200 yards.
and his
Fine,
weapons
yeah,
were
but
probably the
O-line
same,
too.
if not better. Like Mark Andrews has
They
been there the
definitely were not
entire
better.
time. Mark
They
Andrews
were
is
not
better
better.
than the entire receiving core of the Bears last year. Mark Andrews by himself.
Yeah, 100%.
Lamar threw for the year he started 3,100 yards. And then the next year, 2,700, 2,800.
And how many of
are his
those?
three.
How many yards did Mark Andrews have in those years?
Not over 1,000.
I guarantee you it was around 1,000 yards.
Maybe one of them is around 1,000, but he's not Travis Kelce.
That's another debate for another day, but we'll switch gears here. We got the NBA, and we got a picture that was posted, a graphic, I should say, by NBA Central, or the Dunk Central now, as they call themselves, and it's Stephen Curry and Tim Duncan, who had the better career in terms of just winning and their play on the court in general.
Give me Timmy D.
Nah,
Give
But-
me Stephen
I would
Curry.
go
I
Curry.
mean, okay, but
Curry.
Mike, can you listen? We're not talking about guys who change the game. Like, yes, Curry changed the game. I agree with that. But I think Tim Duncan, we're talking about whose career was better. I think Duncan, he has 5 rings. Curry has 4. So he's
okay,
an extra
so,
ring.
but
Unless
okay,
bring
that does
Curry's not winning another ring.
Well, you
Let's
do-
get that straight.
opportunity.
all right,
Yes,
bro.
I think Curry wins one more before he up.
No, bro. There's way too many good teams.
Bro. He can shoot. He can do something a lot everyone else can't do. Is he can outshoot you? He can do
Tim
something.
He never missed the playoffs, Mike. His
Okay.
team didn't ever got to the second
That's
overall.
so
played-
nice.
And he
It's so
played with
nice.
a whole lot of Hall of
Play
Famers.
with a whole lot of Hall
Curry.
of Famers.
So did Curry.
He's
Yeah.
the best.
But
He's the
listen,
best out of those Hall of Famers, but he definitely played with a whole bunch of Hall of Famers.
and
Yes,
this
he
is
played with
Greg
Tony
Popovich.
Parker and
It was
Manu Ginobili and David Robinson.
it was Greg
Let's
Popovich's.
keep going. Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi
Tony
Leonard's going to be a
Parker,
Hall of Famer.
Tony
Tony
Parker
Parker's
will
a Hall of Famer. Ginobili's a Hall of Famer.
David Robinson, Hall of
AD's a
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
LaMarcus
Clay's a
Aldridge
Hall of
may be a
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Draymond's who?
Like LaMarcus
Like-
Aldridge.
No, they didn't do any. No, LaMarcus Aldridge was not there with Tim Duncan.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he
On
did.
Tim Duncan
When?
last
Like maybe his last year?
It was a
last year.
good year. He
made a
went to the
playoff.
playoffs every year of his career, so every year
Yeah,
matters.
they lost to the Clippers first round though.
Okay, but Tim Duncan's also an elite defender. Did he?
He is.
Like-
Tim Duncan is nice. Like
Curry got a gratata.
Curry-
Isn't he the only unanimous MVP?
he's a two-time unanimous.
Yeah, isn't he the only like 2-time unanimous MVP? Like no one was in question. I'm just gonna give this. Just give it to him.
I'm pretty sure he's the first two-time unanimous MVP. He's every single three-pointer he make for the rest of his life, he's setting a new
The
record.
record. It's the record.
Duncan has 2 MVPs, and he also has 3 NBA Finals MVPs. Curry only has 1.
Curry really should have 2. They cheated him.
He should have.
But-
When did they cheat him?
The
Iguodala
first-
they shouldn't get though. They shouldn't be giving out awards for.
And there's no way. How many years has Curry played in the league? Does anyone know that?
Curry's played in the league for like he's going into year 15.
14, 13, 14.
So do you think he plays for? Tim Duncan's been in the league. Tim Duncan's a 15-time All-Star.
Yeah.
He played it for the league for like 19 years.
Curry's like Curry. Here's the thing: you can't get tired of this. This doesn't go away.
Okay,
It's-
Tim Duncan.
Like
You know
no,
what
no,
doesn't
this
go away,
will never go away. This
What
will
doesn't
never
go
go
away
away.
is Tim Duncan making the all-defensive team because he made that 13 consecutive seasons.
That's super nice.
He was a
But
defensive
every
player.
shot this man makes, every 3 that goes down, is history. It's history,
Bro,
and no one's gonna catch that record. Like nobody will be able to catch his
dude,
record.
he was all NBA and all defensive team for 13 consecutive seasons. Both of them. Only player to ever do that. And he has 1 more ring. And he has more NBA finals. And he has the same amount of MVP or NBA finals MVPs. And he has the same amount of MVPs as him. So I don't you're
Now,
arguing
it sound good. You making it sound good as far as the trophy case?
because if you look at their
Listen,
if you look at their accolades, we're talking
I
about their
get that. I
career.
get that. As far as the trophy case is good. I mean,
If you give me the question, who's more influential? Curry by far.
Curry got a lot of shit on here too. Like it's just as impressive as far as trophy case. I mean, he's 6'2". He's not an all defensive player. Like what the like that's never been what he
Chris
did.
Paul's made how many all defensive teams? All defensive teams?
How many championships Chris Paul got?
That's okay, but I'm just saying you can be small and you can be on the defensive teams.
Right, and that's fine. But I'm saying, okay, Chris Paul brought to the table what he brought to the table. Curry brought what he brought. What Curry brought was significantly
Changed the
more.
game of basketball
We're
forever.
not talking about that, Mike.
That does matter though. That matters
But
when you
that
compare
matters.
the two.
That matters with your resume. Like
You can sit
like-
here and tell you we're not talking about the trophy.
like
case.
you bounce these the league because they couldn't shoot. That's what Stephen Curry did. Tim Duncan all those years could get away with not finding a jumper, like all that. Curry made
He
them.
had a jumper, bro.
No, he had a midi. Curry made them league. Curry told if you can't shoot, you got to get out the league because no one could guard him. You saw how all the tired. They all just retired because they couldn't shoot. They couldn't compete no more. Curry changed the game.
All right,
Alright.
bro.
Hey, and then just the debate that's gone on in our group chat and overall, is Curry the best point guard of all time then? Is he better than Magic Johnson?
Yes.
Yes, he's better.
He been
Magic was a demigod, and Magic was a prototype that was so rare back then. It's a lot more common now. That when he came on the scene, it was just like wow. It's just like his size kind of like naturally gave him that best point guard of all time, like right away, because they never seen anything like it. And then it was not many like him for a long time. But like coming in age now, coming to these days, it's a lot more common, and it's like you got the Cade Cunninghams, the Scotty Barnes, so it's like it's a lot more common now. But I think Curry clears. Like the jump shooting is
Curry
like,
clears him, bro.
it is what it is. Like
Clears him.
he
Give
makes
me
a record.
Timmy.
Every NBA game for the rest of his career, he's gonna set a record. Every NBA game, because I don't see him going probably any game without hitting a 3. As crazy as it sounds.
It's not even that crazy though, because there's probably it's probably like you could count it on two hands how many games he's went without a three in his like last 5 years. Like he doesn't go games without making a three. That's like he's shooting probably 10 to 15 of them a game, so it's like he's going to make at least one.
Imagine like when somebody break a record, they stop the game and applaud them. Imagine if they did that no matter what. He would be getting celebrated every game. Like it'd be crazy. Like it's just crazy. Like
Yeah, but they don't celebrate like your own record. You're breaking your own
obviously
record.
that's what I mean. But like imagine if they did like he would make games a lot longer. Like that's how raw he is.
That was a legendary moment though. When he what was it? Ray Allen like came out and like dapped him up after he did it. Wasn't he at like MSG too, like Madison Square Garden, like the
Reggie Miller
biggest
brought him
stage
up,
too? Yeah.
Yeah, all the shooters was there.
Do it.
Yeah, Curry was crazy. He changed the game. Like it's hard to Magic changed it at 6'9". Like as impressive as it was, that's a little more easier. Changing the game at
All
6.
right. So when we start talking about, I don't know if we want to move on, but when we talk about the next who's better, I mean, Andrew, do you want to talk about that one real
Yeah,
quick?
we can go to that one now. So speaking of smaller versus a taller point guard, it's Russell Westbrook and Allen Iverson who had the better career and who was better in their prime in general.
So if we're talking about guys who are influential, like Mike was talking about, so why is AI clear Westbrook? Because he changed the game
No, Westbrook. No,
and he brought his team to the finals.
But
Westbrook
like
never even came close.
Westbrook went to the finals. Are you dumb?
He didn't carry a team to the finals. He was the
But
second option.
he was like the second option, but like a huge, like
Yeah.
like
you were averaging like less
a
than
50-40 piece of slice. Like Westbrook ain't get carried either. That team don't go without Westbrook. Like
that team was
it doesn't go to the finals without Westbrook.
Deontay, AI's team doesn't make the playoffs without AI. That's how bad his team was.
I agree. He took a terrible team. I agree. But
they don't make the playoffs.
But that year doesn't make. If you put Westbrook's MVP year on that 76ers team, I think they still make the playoffs. I don't know if they go to the finals.
But I mean, okay.
No, they're going to the finals.
They're actually going to the finals back then because all his stats is better than AI MVP season stats.
Yes.
So like
they're going to the finals.
Westbrook clears, dog.
I think AI was a 4-time scoring champ. I mean, that's
Westbrook is I think averaging triple double is harder than being a scoring champ.
Yes,
I can see that.
You can, but like, dude, the 4-time scoring champ.
That's tough. It is.
It's tough, but I mean, yes, I do agree.
6 foot, that is crazy.
But he did play. I think Westbrook like longevity is a lot better, and I mean his prime. I mean,
dude, Westbrook's like a.
But I think the prime. I mean, the prime you can really argue because AI really took his garbage team all the way to the finals, and I don't think. So I mean the prime, yes, but I think the career, if you look at the whole career, I think Westbrook clears, but prime, I think it's a good argument. And I'd take AI just because I like to look at when you were looking at his best season, he took his terrible team to the finals. Westbrook's his best season, he didn't really bring his team.
Split Westbrook in that position. His stats are better than everything AI did. So that technically,
you just can't compare. Like it's two different times. Like it's just like you can't do like if AI was thrown in that OKC team, like the Russell's best year, which was a trash ass OKC team, like
AI's team is just as trash.
I honestly think AI's MVP year and Russ's MVP year, like I wouldn't even think like AI is bringing that team to like the playoffs like at all. Like I think Westbrook, his MVP year and his prime is just so much better. Like he's been to the All-Star game so many times. A lot of people mold their game after Westbrook. Like everyone's like, I love Westbrook. If you ask like who your favorite point guard of all time is, like people mold their game after I think like he's really like changed the game as a point guard perspective. It's just being like a super springy, like jumpy guard. Like he's just like, 0 to 100 like really quick, like just super fast. And I don't know, but it's a good.
Yo. Did it lag out? Yo, Mike. No, we're leaving this in. What is it? Mike's thing is Mike dot. Well, I guess that'll let us know to move on. We'll move on to Bleacher Report's list actually of overrated players in the NBA was one that got a lot of flack. It's Domantas Sabonis, Dillon Brooks, Jonas Valanciunas, Kawhi Leonard, and DeMar DeRozan. And I know Deonta said something about it, and so did McCabe and Mike in the group chat about not a great list. A lot of players that aren't on there that should be, and a lot of players that are on there that shouldn't be.
Because I personally think the list is horrible. I think they kind of, I mean, a lot of the names I feel like are underrated players, like Domantas Sabonis. Like, what the, like what? That man's a killer. Like, he's not the most skilled big, but like the effort he puts out there, and for some reason it seemed like he grew since he's been with Sacramento. Like, I swear he was not that big on the Thunder. Like, I swear he grew an inch or two, but I don't know. He's just a dog, and he plays with a lot of dogs, so it's like. Yeah, he's definitely not the most ideal big, like far as skill level, but he's gonna play hard. He's gonna knock down shots here and there. He's gonna get 1,000 rebounds. He's gonna play defense. It's like he's gonna be a great team leader. Like he's like another like Draymond Green. I would say maybe a little better, but like I don't.
No, he's like
He's a
on the
lot-
offensive side of the ball, like a lot
He's a
better.
lot better offensively
Like
for
a
sure.
lot better.
Sure, he has like a taller,
He's a-
longer frame.
He's a double machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like the dude, and like could be a triple double. He's like a triple double watch.
He could- Yeah, like
you
bro,
know,
like he has like 6 assists a game.
it's
Yeah,
like
and
when-
he was getting triple doubles. I think he had like a record or something for most triple doubles like since he's come into the league as like in his position like power forward and center. So it's like now Jokic is probably going to overtake that during his career, but like he was the best like in terms of triple doubles with power forwards and centers before obviously Jokic started becoming Jokic's. And also like seeing DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard on the list surprised me where like players like I feel like you can Jonas Valanciunas I would not say is overrated because I don't think many people rate him very highly. And Dillon Brooks, I like that's just a bandwagon on what happened this past season.
he's hated. Like who rates him good? I
Hated.
don't even know how to rate him good.
I don't know anyone that thinks he's good
No,
at
I-
basketball.
Even though he is a good basketball player, but like I don't think he's overrated. That list. Who else? Give me a couple more names. Who else was on there?
It's
DeRozan,
yeah.
DeRozan,
DeMar
Kawhi.
DeRozan? I don't. I
Like
think
DeRozan's not overrated. Like at all. Like I think like
He just
I
hasn't
think
won much.
he's just playing in the wrong era. Like damn near.
yeah,
Like
that's-
he's still super good. Like
yeah,
averaging 25 a game, like his whole career. Like super good player. Like I don't think he's overrated. I feel like DeRozan doesn't even get talked about.
And then a lot of his career he been put out by like LeBron. So it's like he been getting put out by like the second or first greatest player ever. Like arguably the GOAT. Like I think over half his career, like half of his eliminations probably against Bron. So it's like he's losing to like somebody like he should be losing to. It ain't like he had a bunch of like unexcusable losses in the playoffs.
Yeah. Shit, and he lost to Don. Lost
Right,
to
it's not-
Giannis.
It's not like he's like Devin Booker getting put out by like the Luka and nobody. Like
He's just had a bad beat of a career. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but like not like I mean, obviously like
that's
I mean when it comes to winning,
but
when
that
it comes to winning,
yeah, he ended up he dope. He's ended up in a bunch of trash teams.
Yeah, and he left at the wrong time out of Toronto because then they get
He got
Kawhi,
traded.
and then
He
yeah,
got
that's what I
traded.
mean. I know, but I
at
mean
the
like
wrong time though. That team wouldn't have won without Kawhi. If that team is the
Yeah.
exact same with DeMar, they don't win.
and he knows that. DeMar knows that. Like
Yeah, so it's not like he left, and it wasn't like he got traded. Then the Raptors got a bunch of talent. Like no, they went there because of the guy he got traded for.
well, they also added Siakam too. Like Siakam getting back
Siakam's
into
on
his
Siakam,
yeah,
went the
but
wrong
Siakam
direction.
getting more experience in the NBA and became a better player than he was his
Yeah,
first few years.
They're getting spanked with Siakam and DeRozan that year. Without Kawhi, they're getting spanked. Kawhi hit the luckiest shot in the century to even keep going. So it's like,
Yeah, and they beat the team that Ben Simmons was formerly a part of and had Joel Embiid crying on his way to the locker room. But that's for another day. Ben Simmons has had a wild career so far. Burst onto the scene, one of the best players like his rookie season, and everybody's hyping him up. And then he's off the face of the planet a few years later, and now he's looking like he's going to make another comeback, I guess, with the Brooklyn Nets, I should say. And what are your guys' thoughts on him? What's his ceiling if he actually plays this season? And how good are the Nets with Ben Simmons?
I think I mean, that depends on what position you're playing Ben Simmons. Like, is he back running the one? Like, is he taking the ball up the floor every single play?
I think he has to with that team. Like Mikal
I
Bridges
feel
and
like he
Cam
has
Johnson
to.
are.
But can't Mikal Bridges can do that. Like Mikal Bridges can get the ball at half court. But I feel like if Ben Simmons is gonna come back like himself, he has to be having the ball in his hands, making the decisions for the team. That's what he does best. People that's what his best skill was, just being super tall. He was just a Magic Johnson build.
His
Just
game-
just taller.
His game doesn't work, I feel like, for the NBA right now. I just don't see it fitting. And
I feel like
the system, he just I don't know. I just don't see it working.
It's gonna be hard if he don't.
It's like a deadbeat, he touches the ball and
if
it's
he don't
kinda
figure the shot out, it's not gonna work. And it's not like because he lost the dribble or lost the IQ or the pass. All his skills were stuff that you don't just lose. So it's he was gonna forever have that skill, but teams defense is has expanded so much. It's when they figure you out, it's hard because bro, you're just always gonna be that weak link that they pick on. So it's whether he's bringing the ball up, that you're gonna sag off hella, have an extra defender in the paint. Whether he's playing off the ball in the post, you're gonna have an extra help defender in the lane. So they're always just gonna piggyback off of his weakness of not being aggressive and not wanting to score. They're gonna run a lot of zone match, whereas they're in the zone, but they're kind of matched up because they have extra help because Ben Simmons is being left way in the corner somewhere. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be hard. It's gonna be hard. There's so much space. It's easier to pick apart those non-shooting players.
yeah, but taking it the other side of it, Lonzo developed an insane 3-point shot, was a great 3-point shooter when he was healthy in the NBA, and he turned into it like a great player. Obviously, the sad situation, his career might even be over. He's not even going to play this season, most likely. But that's my thing. If he develops a shot with his intangibles, he's a taller Westbrook, I'd say. Where he knows how to play make, he knows he can dribble really well, and if he develops a shot in any sense of the imagination, he's a good defender somewhat. So it's he'd be an all-around great player. It's just, does he want it, and is his mentality good enough to achieve that? And that young Brooklyn Nets team acquiring a lot of assets, they could be very good in the years to come. And speaking of teams that'll be great in years to come, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. Chet Holmgren now gets to play in what will be his rookie season after the injury. And we got a special guest, first time on the pod, Cole Ewald, who's actually very good friends with him and actually a wide receiver at the University of Duluth in Minnesota. So we'll get his take on it and your guys as well.
So just off the season, what I think they're gonna do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, I think, this gonna be. I think actually last year they were 1 year ahead of schedule. I think that's where a lot of people thought they were going to be this year was, in that play-in run, hopefully sneak into the playoffs. But I think they're a year ahead of schedule. And honestly, I feel like their draft picks, they just keep hitting. It's looking like, Ooze, is looking like he's going to pan out. He's looking like he can shoot. Keisha Wallace looking like it was a great pickup. Just down the line, Trey Mann looks like he's getting comfortable out there, and stuff like that. I feel like they're just gonna be scary all around. I feel like they're deep, young, and I feel like the staff there and the GMs and just everybody behind it's a good program organization.
Yeah, I think the most dangerous part about them, piggybacking off what Cole just said, is how young they are and how deep they are. So it's a lot of teams are gonna go into those stretches of the season where every team has your star players out for a week or two, or groin, an ankle, whatever the case may be. With them, it's when they hit that stretch where Shea Gilgeous, Giddey, or Chet is out for a week or two, they're so deep where it's next man up is just gonna be ready to go, and it's gonna be they just got a lot of dogs. So it's oh, he went down. This is my time to shine. And I think those 1 or 2 week stretches where the stars are out or resting or whatever the case may be, they're going to still be winning. So I think that's going to help the record a lot at the end of the season.
And I feel like last year for sure they were missing, that rim protector. They didn't have that, that big guy down there to, that safety blanket,
With Chet,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and on top of that, they've stockpiled draft picks, not only talent, but draft picks as well. So they got a lot of talent coming in as well. So it'll be a competition not only to stay on the roster, but they'll have a competition throughout the season with just great talent fighting for minutes. And what you got, Mike?
I think next, I mean, like they just have so much. They're like, I mean, dude, their bench is so deep. They're like, and they're so young. Like they're all under 21 years old. Like a lot of their bench, and they have like trade assets. Like it's like the Thunder honestly can make a move next year to like acquire a crazy star, and then they can like shoot up the Western conference like ladder. Like they could do that if they really wanted to, because of like what they have. I think they finish they land in the playing game, but they win the game to make the A seed. And like, but like they're gonna be like the Pelicans that other year where like they're gonna challenge the number one seed. Like you're gonna have to come play every single game. Like they can be upset like the dark horse team that goes to like the Western Conference Finals like for no reason. Like the Hawks or like the Heat, like like have no reason being there, but like they could do that because like they're young, talented, just like that old OKC team that went to the finals against LeBron. Like just young, talented.
Just like we mentioned last pod too, with the Timberwolves being the toughest series in Bruce Brown's mind on their way to the championship, where it's like you don't think it, but it's a pesky team that just won't go away, and they're a bunch of young grinders that are all very talented and skilled, and they've meshed very well together, not only in the preseason, but just last year in general. Great season for both the Jalen's. Like Josh Giddey took another step up. I think it's going to be a great fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, and Shea's a superstar, so man, he impresses me every game. Like every game. Especially if your sports better, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Shea's nice.
Hey, so that'll do it for the fourth episode of Beyond the Scoreboard. We're going to get into some college football talk next episode as that season starts to ramp up. We're in the month of August, which is when the season will begin. So look forward to that. Thank you all for tuning in. It was a great fourth episode, and we'll see you next time.